Welcome to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Chapter 81. Old Friends Reunite. Explosive news, the mastermind behind the scenes is killed. Chen Tai, the sixth prince of the Great Xia Empire, was a man of extraordinary talent and genius. Before he was 30, he had already reached the realm of sainthood and was hailed as the #1 prodigy of the Great Xia royal family. It is expected that he can break through to the celestial being level before the age of 50 and stand shoulder to shoulder with the celestial beings of the older generation. His mother was from the Chu family, a family of celestial beings. She is currently the most favored concubine of the Great Xia Emperor. Due to his intelligence and extraordinary talent for cultivation, Chen Tai has been the focus of public attention since he was a child. He is deeply loved by the Emperor of Daxia and is regarded by countless people as the next successor to the Emperor. This is a true child of destiny. Regardless of family background, status, or qualifications, he is the best in the Great Xia Empire. Information about Chen Tai gradually emerged in Lu Gan's mind. If it's really him, then everything makes sense. With his status and the support of his mother clan, it is not impossible for him to control the old eunuch ghost Dr. Venerable and the old monster blood demon, etc. Lu Gan suddenly reacted and instantly realized that something was wrong. Lu Gan, Chen Gan, did I get the sky collapse script of the deposed Crown Prince Li Chengqin? I was exiled to the Magic City right from the start, and there are so many people who want to kill me. Because, even though I have problems, I am still the orthodox of Daxia, and there are still people willing to speculate and support me. FKU? ? In a fit of excitement, Lu Gan slammed the bed hard, hitting Liu Ruyue who was soundly sleeping, and woke her up immediately. Liu Ruyue. A soldier fell on the street, digging a hole with pomelo. You had a nightmare. Be good, it's okay, just go back to sleep. Lu Gan comforted her perfunctorily, pressed Liu Ruyue's raised head down on the pillow, and tricked her into falling asleep with a bunch of nonsense without any instruction. After dealing with a stupid woman who was about to get angry, Lu Ganzhong turned his attention to the villain simulator. Although the villain simulation was abandoned this time, he escaped from the vortex unexpectedly. He had a feeling that this simulation had not yet ended and he might be able to obtain a lot of useful information. When you wake up again, you find yourself in a courtyard of a paradise. Because your Supreme Emperor bone was taken away and your cultivation was wasted, you have now become immortal, even worse than immortal. The digging out of the Supreme Emperor's bone has had a huge impact on you, almost draining most of your vitality. If you hadn't practiced the Green Emperor's Longevity Sutra, which greatly increased your lifespan, you would have died long ago. Wait. The reason why Yang Hong gave me the Green Emperor Immortality Sutra was probably because he had already anticipated this. You suddenly realize that this seems to be the case. But the way you are now, it seems that you can only live a few decades longer like ordinary people. And now you are confined here. Food, drink, defecation, and all supplies will be delivered to you. Whatever you want, they will do their best to satisfy you, but you cannot contact the outside world. My uncle Yang Hong and the big yellow dog have not shown up either. I don't know what they are busy with. A few decades is not bad. This simulation should be considered as a good experience of life. Maybe it's because after you were ruined, your mentality has become peaceful, as if you have completely let it go. You started living alone in the courtyard, reading books, and reclaimed half an acre of land to grow vegetables. 10 years have passed in the blink of an eye. For 10 years, you have lived alone, enduring loneliness, but you have not gone crazy. Instead, your mind has been tempered to be stronger, more stable, and your irritability has been eliminated. You often read talisman books and Taoist books, and gradually a hint of Taoist charm emerges from you. In this peaceful situation, the long-lost big yellow dog came and brought an unexpected visitor. Little master, look who I brought you. You are a little surprised, because the person brought by the big yellow dog is Su Mei, whom you separated from 10 years ago. Compared to her youthful innocence back then, Su Mei now has a touch of maturity and charm, like a blooming flower bud, and she actually exudes the aura of a saint. It is obvious that this destined protagonist has grown a lot in the past 10 years. Brother Liu, Su Mei spoke, just like when she left that year, she still has deep feelings for you. Mayor, long time no see. You also feel like you've met an old friend. Seeing you two old friends reuniting, with an expression of indifference, the big yellow dog, knowing that he had been treated as a light dog, left tactfully. You invited Su Mei into the house, picked vegetables from the vegetable garden, cut meat, and cooked a meal to entertain her. Su Mei feels sorry for you and wants to help you, but is stopped, saying that you are a guest. Soon, the delicious food was served, and you started chatting while eating, but most of the time, it was Su Mei who was talking. Su Mei said that after they separated 10 years ago, she followed Liu Ruyue and was taken to a small courtyard in the imperial capital and randomly placed. Obviously, the forces behind Liu Ruyue do not trust her. But when she showed her terrifying talent as an alchemist and a cultivator, and became a 7th-level alchemist in just a few years, and entered the realm of sainthood, those people's attitudes changed. The people behind Liu Ruyue began to become enthusiastic and wanted to win her over and let her join. At the same time, they gave her many privileges, but restricted her from leaving. Those people promised that as long as she signed a contract and joined them, they would tell her everything and her origins, but Su Mei was unwilling to do so. Brother Liu, I have been asking to leave for these years, but I was unable to do so. Until a while ago, that dog senior suddenly appeared in the imperial capital, and those people were reluctant to let me go. Then, senior dog brought me to find you. Su Mei explained the reason why she was able to come. It was obviously the big yellow dog. No, it should be your uncle who gave the signal. It's a pity that the hidden chess piece you set up, Su Mei, did not reveal the identity of the power behind Liu Ruyue, but you did get some interesting information. The forces behind Liu Ruyue seem to be all women. You nodded and asked about the Liu family's situation. You learned that the Liu family was destroyed 10 years ago, but there are still some rebellious remnants on the run. In addition, Su Mei also brought you a shocking news. 10 years ago, the 6th Prince Chen Tai accidentally obtained a divine object called Supreme Emperor Bone. His cultivation level improved by leaps and bounds. In just 10 years, he broke through to the level of a celestial being and became invincible at the same level. In an instant, a huge storm broke out throughout Daxia. But just 10 days ago, a mysterious secret realm suddenly appeared in the Magic City. The 6th Prince Chen Tai came to the Magic City and wanted to explore it, but was assassinated. It is said that the 6th Prince Chen Tai was beheaded in public, and the Supreme Emperor's bones were dug out. The person who took action was Yi Chen. Chapter 82, Liu Gan's True Life Experience. Question mark question mark question mark. The 6th Prince, the mastermind behind this, is dead. Died at the hands of Yi Chen, the protagonist of Destiny who had disappeared for 10 years. Looking at the explosive news in the villain simulator, Liu Gan was a little confused, and for a moment, he was unable to react. Chen Tai, the cunning old coin, was killed just like that. And he died so miserably. Is it so sloppy? They also chopped off heads and dug out bones. What hatred, what resentment. Although it's a little outrageous, it doesn't seem incomprehensible. The Destiny protagonist thing is unreasonable. Although I have lost the 9 steps to heaven, there is no guarantee that there will be other opportunities. Give him 10 years to grow up, and I'll let you know what it means not to despise a poor young man. Although Chen Tai, that little b**************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** it is not the original owner after all, and it may not be able to exert its true effect. It is not surprising that he fell into Yi Chen's hands. But, is there such a big hatred between them? Liu Gan tilted his head, unable to figure out the cause and effect relationship. However, with Yi Chen's special brain circuit, it is difficult to understand what he is thinking. You learned from Su Mei that Yi Chen seemed to be lurking in the mysterious secret realm of the Magic City, and suddenly he attacked and ambushed and killed Chen Tai, holding a bloody knife in his hand at the time. Blood knife. Another blood knife. You suddenly recalled that in the previous simulations, Yi Chen seemed to have a blood knife in his hand. You suspected that it was also an opportunity in a mysterious realm, and wanted to grab it, but you couldn't find it. And currently, Yi Chen, who killed Chen Tai, has become the most wanted criminal in the Great Xia Empire. It is said that upon hearing the news of Chen Tai's death, his mother fainted from crying, and the Chu family behind him was so angry that they cursed their mothers. Even the Great Xia Emperor, who had not been seen for a long time, was angry. Now, throughout the Great Xia Empire, people from all sides are looking for Yi Chen. Some want to capture him and claim the bounty, some want to covet his opportunities, and some covet the Supreme Emperor bone. But surprisingly, Yi Chen, who committed such a heinous crime, disappeared again, and no one found his trace. When you heard that the sixth Prince Chen Tai, the real murderer behind the scenes, was killed by Yi Chen, the destined protagonist, you felt a little emotional. In a sense, Yi Chen has avenged you for having your bones dug out. Brother Liu, there is one more thing I forgot to tell you. 10 years ago, Sister Liu was pregnant for 3 years and gave birth to a baby girl. Su Mei's tone was calm, but there was a hint of something strange in it. Over the past 10 years, Sister Liu seemed to be thinking about you a lot. Question mark. Boom. You were stunned in place, you didn't expect that your bloodline still existed in this simulated world. 10 years ago, Liu Ruyue actually succeeded in getting rid of the father and keeping the son. It's all in the past. You sighed. You don't have many years left to live, so why bother with so many things? It's worth it to be able to know so many things from this villain simulator. Brother Liu, Senior Go said that I can stay here and accompany you until the end. Su Mei bit her lip and said why she came. Obviously, she also knew that you would not live for many years, and wanted to stay with you. Looking at the stubborn woman in front of you, you knew it was useless to refuse, so you nodded and agreed. I always lived alone before, but now I have a companion, which is good. Question mark. Question mark. With Su Mei's company, you feel that life seems to have a little more novelty and fun. Although you haven't seen each other for 10 years, there is no gap at all. Question mark. Question mark. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years have passed. Although time has passed, you still look young and have not aged. Over the years, you and Su Mei have supported each other. Although you are not husband and wife, you are better than husband and wife. A few years ago, Su Mei's belly was also swelling up little by little. Every day, she liked to touch her belly and talk to herself. Question mark. Question mark. Over the years, in addition to getting along with Su Mei, you can occasionally hear some news from the outside world. For example, Yi Chen, the destined protagonist, suddenly appeared all over Daxia and was surrounded and killed, but he managed to escape danger again and again. He is like an indestructible cockroach, he can never be killed. Someone noticed that he seemed to be looking for something. Question mark. Question mark. You find yourself getting weaker and weaker, and even tilling your own vegetable garden is beginning to feel strenuous. It seems that your time is running out. Is this what death feels like? You mutter to yourself. You know very well that you won't live for more than a few days, and you may not even make it to the day when your child is born. But in order not to worry Su Mei, you did not reveal your weakness and held on. Question mark. Question mark. As usual, you lie on the rocking chair in the courtyard, basking in the sun, full of laziness. It's not that you don't want to work, but you really can't move. According to the time, the people delivering supplies this month should be arriving soon. Soon, someone came, but this time the person came was beyond your expectations. Question mark. Quote. Uncle. You exclaim in surprise. The person who came turned out to be my uncle Yang Hong, whom I hadn't seen for 20 years. After 20 years of not seeing each other, Yang Hong still looks like a handsome and heroic middle-aged man, but if you are careful, you will find that his hair has turned a little grayer, and there is fatigue in his calm eyes. Question mark. Quote. Child, I want to take you somewhere. Question mark. Quote. Good. You forced yourself to stay together, said a few words to Su Mei, and followed him. You two walked out of the paradise one after the other. This is the first time you walk outside, but this time there is no obstruction. Question mark. Question mark. After walking for an unknown amount of time, you followed your uncle Yang Hong to a cliff and saw a tombstone and a grave. Tomb of Yang Xiuji. This is your mother's tomb. Uncle Yang Hong spoke slowly with a hint of sadness. Hearing this, your body trembles, an indescribable emotion surges from your heart. You walk slowly, stroking the tombstone in front of you with trembling hands. You know very well that the reason why Yang Hong showed up and brought you here is that he must have known that your time is coming and wanted to tell you something. You stroked the tombstone, lowered your head, and remained silent for a long time before speaking in a slightly hoarse voice. Uncle, who is my father, and who am I? This time, Yang Hong finally did not hide it. Your father is Chen Zan, the crown prince of the Great Xia Empire, and you are the grandson of the Great Xia Empire. The Great Xia Emperor is your grandfather. Chapter 83, The Truth About, Kind Father and Filial Son. Boom. Liu Gan's pupils shrank and his expression froze instantly. Although I had expected this, I was still shocked by the sudden news. I am the grandson. My father is the crown prince. My grandfather is the emperor of Daxia. I also have an uncle who is the great Shah god of war and holds military power. What a heaven-defying background this is. Entitled. There are also soldiers. In comparison, the sixth prince Chen Tai, the mastermind behind the scenes, is so weak. From the perspective of the etiquette and ethics of the Great Xia Empire, he is the orthodox among the orthodox. But how did it become like this? He is the grandson of the Great Xia Empire. What kind of crazy thing did my biological father, whom I have never met, do back then that even I was implicated? You are the grandson. Your heart is pounding, obviously frightened by the sudden news. In the end, you are the T0 of the empire. But how did things turn out like this? Uncle, can you tell me about my father? You are eager to know the truth of the matter. Now that you won't live long, you naturally want to know what happened back then. At the same time, I also want to know why I am called the most sinful, evil, and craziest bloodline. Your father, Uncle Yang Hong, lowered his eyes slightly, with a hint of anger flashing across his face, but when he saw your extremely weak and pleading eyes, he softened his heart. Your father, Chen Zan, is a man of great talent and strategy. He was born extraordinary and had visions of ancient gods. He was deeply loved by your grandfather. He was named the crown prince since he was a child and became the first heir to the Great Xia Empire. After he became the crown prince, he was responsible for helping your grandfather share the empire's military affairs. He showed amazing talent, implemented new policies, promoted common people from humble backgrounds, suppressed the aristocratic families, and opened a path to success for the lower classes. His reputation was unparalleled in the Great Xia Empire, almost approaching that of your grandfather. Countless people are saying that your father has the style of an ancient emperor. At that time, all matters from all over the empire were first submitted to your father for review, and then to your grandfather for stamping. In a sense, your grandfather, the emperor of Daxia, was sidelined by your father. In terms of ability, your father is one of the best in the entire history of the Great Xia Empire. When talking about your father's great achievements, Yang Hong's expression was a bit complicated, because he was also a beneficiary at that time. It is not easy to stand out in the Great Xia Empire where aristocratic families are rampant. At the critical moment, someone needs to give a hand. Digging. At this moment, while you are shocked by your father's horror, you also realize that something is wrong. As the crown prince, he actually sidelined the real emperor. If nothing goes wrong, then there must be something fishy going on. It would be fine if it was like this, but this B**************** D is not a good son. At that time, before your uncle became successful, he had a lot of friendship with your father. They regarded each other as close friends, and often communicated with each other and visited each other. When the time is short, it's fine, but when it's long, something starts to feel wrong. At that time, your uncle was increasingly valued by your grandfather and was leading the army to fight outside, but that B*********** D still often went to your house. When your uncle returned, Shou was already pregnant with you. You son of ABCH, if your mother hadn't stopped me, I would have chopped him to pieces. Uncle Yang Hong no longer had the calmness of the past, and the murderous intent in his eyes was almost condensed into substance. Which brother wouldn't go crazy if he encountered this kind of thing? You son of ABCH, I treat you as my brother, you want to be my brother-in-law. Moreover, this B********* D was clearly forcing him to take sides. After becoming the crown prince, he still wants to get his hands on military power. Liu Gan, you have finally figured out that your father is really a sinister person, and he is a bit of a bad person. He took advantage of no one's home to steal. It is impossible to say that he did not do it on purpose. On the one hand, it may be true love, but on the other hand, it is clear that she wants to tie the uncle, the god of war, to her own camp. Ahem, uncle, my dad is indeed a bit of a jerk. Can we get back to the topic, please? You tried to comfort your uncle and bring the topic back. Afterwards, I learned that your grandfather suspected that your father was secretly storing weapons and raising assassins, and wanted to rebel, and was preparing to attack your father. Yang Hong regained his composure and continued to speak. This also indirectly explains why your father did that. Just because of a suspicion. Your face looked a little ugly. Isn't that enough? Yang Hong looked at you meaningfully. For a moment, you are speechless. For the emperor, suspicion is enough, what other evidence is needed? So, just because of a false charge, my grandfather took action, killed my father, and destroyed my family. You clenched your fists, your body trembling slightly. Is this the terror of those in power? The so-called family affection is not worth mentioning in the face of power. Who said it was groundless? Yang Hong suddenly spoke up, interrupting you. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. You are a little confused, staring blankly at your uncle in front of you. Don't look at me. Your father, that B****************, really did that. He secretly stored weapons and armor, and raised assassins. He was preparing to stage the Xuanwu Gate incident. You don't really think he's an honest man, do you? Your grandfather was not wrong in his suspicion. He had predicted it in advance. Uncle Yang Hong patted your head, with an expression that said, "You are still too young, young man, and need more practice." And the reason why your father behaved like this is that he had predicted your grandfather's prediction in advance. He predicted that your grandfather would be suspicious and unfavorable to him, so he wanted to prepare to take action in advance. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. By the way, in order to increase his chances of winning, your father also tricked a few brothers into rebelling against your grandfather, and even expressed his willingness to share the world with them. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. Is this the case of a loving father and a filial son? The eldest brother takes the lead, calls a few brothers to help, and prepares to be his biological father. You are stunned by this series of outrageous operations. Is this such an extreme reversal? Uncle, are you sure you are speaking Chinese? Can it be any more outrageous? The corners of your mouth twitched. How can you still play like this? You rebel at every turn, and you even rebel against your own father. Is my dad crazy? Doesn't he know the consequences of losing? It's not outrageous. Your grandfather did the same thing back then. Uncle Yang Hong said shockingly again. Otherwise, how do you think he got that position? Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. My goodness, this is a family trait. The whole family is rebelling. And they are rebelling against their own father. Chapter 84. Yang Hong, child, I killed your father. When you learned that Daxia had a rebellious inheritance system, you cursed in your heart, saying that they were all a bunch of lunatics and there was not a single normal person among them. Your grandfather is rebelling, your father is rebelling, and you are the only one who is not rebelling. On the day the war broke out, I, your uncle, was ordered by the Great Xia Empire to go to the border to suppress the strange alien race. Obviously, at that time, because of your father's involvement, your grandfather had begun to distrust me. Yang Hong sighed and began to narrate what happened that year. I learned everything when I came back after I dealt with the rioting strange alien race. Subscribe to Chinese novel audio wave. At that time, I don't know what kind of drug your father, that B********************, gave your mother. He actually stole my military token, transformed into my appearance, and led a group of elite soldiers to enter the capital quietly. Your father is ruthless enough. He took the initiative before your grandfather did. He used a few brothers as shields and let them take the lead while he hid behind the scenes and waited for the opportunity. Question mark. After paying a huge price and clearing all obstacles, your father finally took action. He walked alone, stepping on the corpses of his brothers and the steps piled with bones, into the Great Xia Palace, and had a decisive battle with your grandfather, the immortal of the land. That battle had a huge impact and almost destroyed the Great Xia Empire. Listening to your uncle's story, you can almost feel the cruelty of the war at that time. In that great war, even the so-called powerful celestial beings were just pawns, and many celestial beings died. During this period, many aristocratic families personally participated. Finally, there is a decisive battle. Uncle, is my father also a true immortal on earth? You suddenly thought of something. To be able to fight a life-and-death battle with the Great Xia Emperor, who is a true immortal on earth, your father must at least be of the same level. However, your uncle's next answer surprised you. No, he is only at the heavenly man realm. Yang Hong shook his head, and then looked at you with a complicated look, but he also has the Supreme Emperor Bone, which can burst out the combat power of a true immortal on land. That was the first time that the Supreme Emperor Bone appeared in the Great Xia Empire. Before that, no one knew about it, and no one knew that your father had that kind of physique. No one knows the course of that battle. Although your father failed, the Great Xia Emperor also paid a heavy price. He is suspected to have been severely injured and has not been seen for decades. Your father, with his celestial talent, challenged a land immortal, severely injured him, and even ran away. Since then, the Supreme Emperor Bone has become famous throughout the world and has become a forbidden divine object in the eyes of countless people. At that time, there were rumors that if your father had been more patient and had a higher level of cultivation, your grandfather would have died at his hands. Boom. Your pupils shrank. You were not surprised that your father had the Supreme Emperor Bone, but you did not expect it to be so overbearing. It is possible to confront a true immortal on land with the heavenly man realm and severely injure him. Moreover, it seems that there is no time limit like the 9 steps to heaven. Almost, my father succeeded. No wonder so many people want your Supreme Emperor Bone. The mastermind behind the scenes, Chen Tai, has been obsessed with you and has coveted you for a long time. You take a deep breath and calm yourself down. My father died in the end. Dead. Died at the hands of the Great Xia Emperor. No, he died in my hands. Yang Hong said shockingly. Your body trembles and you look at your uncle in disbelief. He actually killed his own father. Child, do you know that when I returned from the war, I saw a devastated Great Xia Empire, everything was in chaos. After your father, that B********************* D, rebelled, he abandoned you and your son and ran away. All the mess is thrown on you and your son. When I came back, Shou was very ill and was dying. Before she died, she held my hand and begged me, her brother, to protect her. But the matter has become so serious, what can I do, what can I do? Yang Hong's eyes were red, and his emotions were out of control. It was hard to imagine what kind of pressure he was facing at the time. Given his status, he must have been deeply involved at the time. Although he did not participate, his own sister and brother-in-law were involved. In that case, he could not clear himself even if he jumped into the Yellow River. At that time, he was already in a difficult situation and had to clean up a lot of mess. Looking at your uncle Yang Hong who is losing control of his emotions, you seem to be able to imagine the scene at that time. Based on Shou's last words, I found out a secret place where they once loved each other, and then I found him. When I found him, he had become a little crazy, as if he had been beaten stupidly. It was obvious that he had paid a heavy price. I killed him with my own hands, took his head to the palace, and guaranteed with my life that you are dead. Listening to your uncle's calm words, you were suddenly horrified and moved. You obviously didn't expect that he could find this way to save you. Back then, in order to protect you, the uncle in front of you almost gambled with his life. Did the Great Xia Emperor believe it? I've put his son's head in front of him. Why wouldn't he believe it? Yang Hong showed a sarcastic smile. At the same time, as a price, I was stripped of everything and exiled here. For the rest of my life, I am not allowed to leave or come to the capital. Just like that, the matter seems to have come to an end. Before I left Beijing, because there were too many people watching me and it was difficult to take care of you, I secretly handed you over to the Liu family to raise. On the surface, the Liu family has always been loyal to the Great Xia Emperor, but who would have thought that the Liu family had actually already joined your father and was one of his many backup plans? That's how it was. With the Liu family's disguise and the backup plan your father left behind, you were able to live to this age. Listening to your uncle's explanation, you now realize how lucky and fortunate you are to have survived and lived to this day. If it were anyone else, the grass on his grave would have been so tall. Etc. You suddenly realized something. How did you get exposed? You asked this question. The truth will eventually come to light. Someone in your father's backup plan changed his mind and betrayed the Liu family and you. Chapter 85, Revealing One's Own Trump Card. Yang Hong's weird reaction. When you heard that someone betrayed you in the Liu family, which led to today's situation, your face instantly became extremely ugly. At the same time, you had a rough idea of the object of your speculation and suspicion in your heart. Since the other party wants to sell out his master for fame and fortune, he will naturally take advantage of your misfortune and make things difficult for you in order to please the new master as a token of his loyalty. And in your impression, there happens to be a very obvious goal. It's the Gu family. Not bad. Yang Hong nodded. He was very impressed with your quick wit. You actually found out the traitor so quickly. The Gu family was originally one of the backup plans your father left behind, but as time went on, they began to change their minds and sold you out to the 6th Prince Chen Tai, your mastermind, in exchange for benefits. They even went so far as to set up a trap to make you come to the Magic City and enter a killing trap to kill you. Even the reason why the Liu family was destroyed was probably because they couldn't escape the backstab of the Gu family. While you were angry, you also realized that among the tricks left by your dead father, it is difficult to distinguish whether it is a human or a ghost. Uncle, my identity has been exposed. Why didn't the Great Xia Emperor take action against me? Instead, the 6th Prince Chen Tai started to jump up and down, wanting to kill me. You reacted. Under normal circumstances, after your identity is exposed, the first person who would want to kill you should be your grandfather, the Great Xia Emperor. How come it turned out to be the 6th Prince Chen Tai, and the other party is so anxious? Unless something unexpected happens. Yang Hong's next words also completely cleared up your doubts. After the Gu family spread the news about you, the entire Great Xia Empire was in an uproar. Countless people wanted to see the Great Xia Emperor's reaction and wanted you dead. But unexpectedly, the Great Xia Emperor seemed to have remembered his love for his son and was willing to bring up the past and acknowledge you as his grandson again. There are also rumors coming from the Great Xia Palace that the Great Xia Emperor often talks about you, his good grandson, and intends to let you inherit the throne. Wow. It's actually like this. No wonder Chen Tai wanted to kill me. He originally wanted to use my life to please the one in the Great Xia Palace, but he ended up making things worse and got himself into trouble. If you really want to recognize me, all my uncles will have to step aside. I am the first-line heir to the Great Xia Empire. Under this situation, not only Chen Tai, but all the other princes will go crazy and want to kill me. The corner of Liu Gan's mouth twitched, and he finally understood the real purpose of Chen Tai, the mastermind behind the scenes, who wanted to kill him. Obviously, part of it is for the Supreme Emperor Bone, but more of it is for the throne of the human emperor. No wonder Liu Ruyue said that going north and returning to the imperial capital would be a life or death situation. That glimmer of hope depends on the mood of the person in the palace of the Great Xia Empire. Before, Chen Tai, who pretended to be the elder brother Liu Shou, did not let him go back to the imperial capital because he was obviously afraid of accidents. However, my grandfather, the Great Xia Emperor, doesn't seem to be that kind. If he really wanted to recognize me, he could have sent someone to pick me up. But I didn't take any action. Instead, I just hid behind the scenes and watched the show, watching Chen Tai persecute me without any reaction. I'm afraid you're not trying to play the game of raising poison, you're really cold-blooded. Liu Gan saw the seriousness of the matter at a glance and realized that the so-called love for one's child was probably just a joke. If you believe it, you'd be really stupid. That's right, that person was also the one who dared to rebel and start his career. The difference is that he succeeded, while his father failed. You realize the sinister intentions of the Great Xia Emperor. It is better to trust Qin Shi Huang than him. Cough, cough, cough. You suddenly start coughing violently, coughing up blood, your body trembles, and the vitality in your body begins to fade away like the tide. You realize that your time is up, and in order to maximize your benefits, you begin to ask your uncle for the information you want to know. Among them, there is the mysterious celestial being Liu Ruyue and the forces behind him. Yang Hong sneered and showed disdain, saying that they are just some speculators. Question mark. Your detailed inquiry has made you fully prepared for the real world and laid a good foundation for the next simulation. Suddenly, you changed the subject and took the initiative to mention Zhan Fuzzy, a master you had never met. It was obvious that you were very curious about this existence that both Ghost Dr. Venerable and Liu Ruyue feared. Question mark. Zhan Fuzzy. You found that when Yang Hong mentioned this name, he no longer had the contempt and disdain he had before, but instead had a more solemn look. You learned from Yang Hong that this Zhan Fuzzy was once the teacher of your father Chen Zhan. He is a barely trustworthy person who can protect you at critical moments. Question mark. Time passed quickly, and you learned many secrets from Yang Hong. Perhaps he knew that your time was coming, and he was unwilling to hide it from you. During this time, you seemed to mention Chen Tai intentionally, but you noticed a flash of disdain in your uncle's eyes, as if he had never taken the other person seriously from the beginning to the end. You immediately realized that something was wrong. If that was the case, why did you still want to trade with the other party? Unless there are other problems, and you suspect that Chen Tai's death may be related to the uncle in front of you. But it is obvious that the uncle in front of me does not want to ask this question anymore. During this period, you also asked why the Supreme Emperor bone in your body was sealed and cursed. But facing this question, Yang Hong was silent again, as if he was unwilling to mention it, and seemed to have some concerns. Question mark. Seeing this scene, you suddenly made a decision in your heart. Uncle, you have told me so many secrets, I also want to tell you a secret. You suddenly spoke, breaking the silence. Under Yang Hong's suspicious gaze, you slowly walked to his side and whispered in his ear, Uncle, I actually have a magical item. Once I die, I can trigger a mechanism and be reborn in the past. I can't die yet. In a sense, this is indeed the role of the villain simulator. Question mark. Boom. Yang Hong's pupils shrank, and his expression changed drastically. He was no longer calm and silent as before. He stared at you intently, as if trying to tell whether it was real or fake. In your expression and behavior, as well as the changes in your soul, are telling him that this is real. This is the result of your careful consideration. You choose to self-destruct in exchange for more information, and scare your uncle in front of you and give him a surprise. But what happened next surprised you a little bit. I think you had a sudden hysteria before you died, and you have some extra delusions. Well, stay with your mother for a while. Your uncle is leaving first. Yang Hong sighed, patted your shoulder with a look of regret, and left alone. Your face was dull, because you could clearly feel that just when your uncle opened his mouth, something seemed to have quietly appeared in your hand. That looks like a piece of paper. Chapter 86. Yi Chen. Lu Gan, I finally found it. Wait, don't die. Question mark. Note. Why did Yang Hong slip you a note? Why couldn't he say it directly? Why did he pretend to be like that? Why was I always silent and unwilling to mention certain issues before? You should be a dead person now. Even if you knew, you would take these things and bury them deep underground. Unless, there is a pair of eyes staring at him, watching his every move and his conversation with me. Your pupils shrank, and you instantly realized the problem, and a chill instantly surged into your heart. At this moment, you seem to feel that there is a pair of eyes staring at the figure going away in front of you. It is precisely because of this that Yang Hong was forced to use this method to remind you of something. If you hadn't taken the initiative to tell the secret of rebirth, I'm afraid my uncle wouldn't have chosen to take the risk of telling you this. In the Great Xia Empire, the only person who can make Yang Hong, the Great Xia god of war, so afraid that he dare not act rashly is probably His Majesty the Human Emperor in the Great Xia capital. Question mark. Etc. If the conversation just now was conducted under surveillance, is there something hidden, or is there something wrong? For so many years, he has been monitoring Yang Hong. What exactly does the Great Xia Emperor want to do? Is it possible that Yang Hong is hiding something and hasn't said it out loud? Combined with Yang Hong's slightly disdainful look, could it be that from the beginning to the end, My uncle was not afraid of Chen Tai, the mastermind behind the scenes, but was afraid of the person in the Great Xia Palace. Hey, going south is also a big pit. Liu Gan's face changed slightly, and he stared at the contents of the villain simulator, and suddenly felt an unconcealable chill. He was a small shrimp who hadn't grown up yet, but he actually got into a high-end game by mistake. My uncle seems to be fighting with the one in the Great Xia Palace. Otherwise, why did he know everything about the imperial capital and the magic capital after being in the land of hidden dragons for so long? But why could a great Xia war god who was banished to the southern mountains and suspected to be seriously injured cause the Great Xia Imperial Palace to be so wary and need to be monitored at all times? Let me think. Liu Gan's eyes paused, and he instantly entered the supreme mode. His mind transcended the limitations of the mundane world, and he began to ponder the conversation in the villain simulator just now, trying to find loopholes. He always felt that there seemed to be something hidden in the previous conversation, etc. His pupils shrank, as if he realized something. Based on Shou's last words, I know a secret place where they once loved each other. When I found him, he had become a little crazy, as if he had been beaten stupid. I killed him with my own hands, and took his head to the palace. Holding your head. Just cut off the head. Where is Chen Zhan's body? Where is the Supreme Emperor bone inside the headless corpse? Wow, Yang Hong has hidden a fully developed Supreme Emperor bone. Your mind thinks quickly. Although you have lost the Supreme Emperor bone, and cannot use the Supreme mode, you still quickly guess something. It seems that my uncle is not as honest as I imagined, and my sudden arrival seems to have disrupted some of his plans. Etc. Could it be that your coming here is also a kind of calculation, that is, someone wants to use you to test Yang Hong? Yang Hong was forced to endure and did not explode due to certain things, but after hearing you tell the secret of rebirth, he decisively passed the message to you. At this moment, you are leaning against the tombstone, motionless, holding the note in your right hand. You only open the note quietly after you see your uncle's figure going away and the creepy feeling of being spied on disappears. There was nothing else on the note, just a few words, which looked like an address. Imperial Capital, Secret Realm, Dragon Temple. You focused your eyes, remembered it, and wanted to burn it with spiritual fire, but you found that you seemed to be useless and reduced to a mortal. You simply stuffed the note into your mouth and swallowed it, then you collapsed to the ground bit by bit, ready to close your eyes and wait for death. The water is too deep here. I always encounter high-end games accidentally. Fortunately, I have the simulator to support me. If it were the main game, I would have died countless times. Yes, it's time to end this simulation. Just as you closed your eyes, feeling the vitality in your body quickly dissipating and about to die, and the simulation ended, you suddenly felt an earthquake. Boom. Boom. A large hole suddenly appeared in the ground not far away, and a figure of a groundhog jumped out from it. The groundhog appeared, with dirty body, disheveled hair, strong stench, and a bloody knife in his hand. He stared at you intently with red eyes, as if he had seen an enemy. Liu Gan, you be ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** years. I have climbed mountains and crossed rivers, and almost walked through the entire Great Xia. I even broke into the imperial palace. I was hunted and chased every day. I couldn't eat well and couldn't sleep well. Today, I finally found you. Damn it, 10 years ago, when I was in the Magic City, there was a B********************* D who looked a bit like you. I was in a trance and recognized the wrong person, so I hacked him to death with a knife and dug out his bones. Do you know how I've lived these past 20 years? Do you know? Ha 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 ha, you'll find out soon. The revenge for having my arm cut off and the hatred for having my wife taken away from me are all coming back today. The protagonist Yi Chen suddenly appears, looking crazy, holding a bloody knife in his hand and moving closer to you. From what he said, it seems that he has been seeking revenge on you for the past 20 years. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Today I am going to chop you into pieces. Damn it, why did you close your eyes? Why did you start to lose your breath? Don't you want to die? I have been looking for you for 20 years, and you are going to die. Ah, you better die later. Seeing you look like you are about to die, Yi Chen, who was already mentally ill, suddenly became dizzy. Is there anything more explosive than being about to take revenge, but the enemy is about to die? How brave? Question mark. Boom. A golden arrow suddenly shot out, instantly piercing the frantic Yi Chen's chest and shooting him out. It was Yang Hong who was leaving who discovered the abnormality and turned back. Question mark. Boom. The blood knife in Yi Chen's hand also slipped out of his hand subconsciously and hit your head heavily. You were about to die when you were suddenly awakened by the impact, and subconsciously held it, as if you were experiencing a last burst of energy. That B************ D smashed my head. Snap. Your vitality is gone, and you die. Chapter 87, Semi-Immortal Weapon, Soul-Devouring Demonic Sword. You are dead, the simulation ends. Phew. Liu Gan couldn't help but laughed out loud. Obviously, he was made to laugh by a certain destined protagonist. No wonder Yi Chen has been running around in the villain simulator for 20 years, it turns out he was looking for revenge. Even Chen Tai, the mastermind behind the scenes, was blamed and stabbed. When they finally found him, he had been shot by an arrow from Yang Hong and his life or death was unknown. Yi Chen is really abstract. I don't know what he is thinking. He always gives me some surprises. The story has reached its finale, but don't think it's over, there's still a big surprise. Why do I feel that this guy is a little cute? If I had known this would happen, I would have been gentler at the beginning. Looking at the 5 villain simulations, it seems that Yi Chen, the destined protagonist, has been badly betrayed by him, but his life has never been threatened once. On the contrary, it helped him several times at critical moments. However, Yi Chen, the destined protagonist, couldn't do much damage to him, but he did cause a lot of damage to other people. Even Chen Tai, the mastermind behind the scenes, was killed once. It was simply an extraordinary performance. Compared to the miserable experiences of the previous times, this simulation was pretty perfect. Although my cultivation was destroyed and my Supreme Emperor bones were dug out, I died of natural causes and gained a lot. Now, all the situations are clear. Liu Gan's eyes flickered, as if containing some kind of terrifying pressure. The 5th simulation ends and the final settlement begins. Villain simulator, a cold mechanical sound suddenly rang out. Boom. The familiar, long river of time, descended from the sky and covered Liu Gan's face. All the happenings of the 5th villain simulation are shown in the fragments of the river of time. Yi Chen went insane and was possessed by a demon. He was pierced by an arrow and nailed to the mountain, screaming. Liu Ruyue is holding a crying baby, looking at a photo in a trance. Su Mei stood at the door with a big belly, like a husband waiting for someone to come home. There was also a young man's body lying quietly in front of a grave, silent, holding a bloody long knife in his hand. Liu Gan looked at the memory fragments in front of him with complicated eyes, as if he had some realization. Swish. The water of the long river of time began to condense rapidly. A young man with a pale face, calm eyes, a calm demeanor, and a steadfast demeanor appeared, holding a blood-red knife with an evil aura. On the shadow of the young man holding the knife, there were 8 brilliant rays of light that appeared, surpassing all the previous ones, and quickly condensed into corresponding Dao fruits. The harvest from this villain simulation seems to be quite rich. Liu Gan raised his eyebrows and muttered to himself. In the previous villain simulations, at the final settlement, there were only 6 Dao fruits. Now, 8 Dao fruits appeared at once. Moreover, among them, there are actually 3 shining with light golden light. Start the final settlement, the host can choose 4 from the following 8 options. First item, the 5th level of Qingdi Changsheng Sutra, Peak of Mountains and Rivers. Second item, 9 Steps to Heaven, Heavenly Talisman. Third item, Fixed Green Talent, Nonsense, becomes your own innate talent. The fourth item, 6th level Talisman Master, Talisman Illustration. Fifth item, Black Turtle Shield, Heavenly Magical Treasure. Sixth item, Treasures Left by the Gods, Ghost Doctor Venerable. Item 7, Heavenly Sword Talisman, One Time. Item 8, Soul Devouring Demonic Sword, Semi-Immortal Weapon. Swish. Semi-Immortal Weapon. When Liu Gan saw the 8th reward, his pupils trembled and he stared at the blood-red long sword emitting an evil aura in the hand of the young man's phantom, in front of him. He never imagined that the evil blood knife that Yi Chen carried with him at the end was actually a semi-immortal weapon. The level of this thing seems to be a bit supermodel. No wonder Yi Chen was able to kill Chen Tai with one blow. It turned out that he was holding a semi-immortal weapon. Instead of the 9 steps to heaven, he got a semi-immortal weapon. He was envious of the treatment he received as the destined protagonist. Damn it, you have to be the protagonist of destiny. You don't lack anything except opportunities. You're just like a sheep. You can never get enough of its wool. Fortunately, I was able to grab this semi-immortal weapon at the last moment of this simulation, otherwise, I would have suffered a huge loss. Call. Liu Gan exhaled a breath and made the final choice without hesitation. I choose the first, third, fourth, and eighth rewards. Swish, 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 swish. 2 light gold, 1 dark purple, and 1 dark green, representing the Green Emperor's Sutra of Immortality, soul-devouring demonic sword, 6th rank talisman master, and ghost talk. A total of 4 Dao fruits fell instantly. The 4 Dao fruits turned into streams of light and shot into Liu Gan's body, quickly merging. Boom, boom, boom. Liu Gan only felt that his cultivation began to surge wildly, and instantly reached the peak of the mountain and river realm. An extremely overbearing Green Emperor longevity that plunders vitality, nourishes oneself, and prolongs life, permeates the meridians of the whole body, devours other spiritual energy, and transforms. In an instant, his lifespan doubled out of thin air to 1,000 years. My skin becomes fairer and more perfect, as if it has undergone some kind of transformation. Even his own recovery ability has changed, becoming more than 10 times stronger than before. Qingdi Changsheng Jing. This land-level immortal-level technique has various magical effects, which are more powerful and domineering than all previous techniques. At this moment, the strength of his spiritual energy is at least 10 times that of a strong man of the same level. At the same time, all the experience about talismans in the villain simulator was instantly integrated, and countless 5th-order talismans and 6th-order talismans were instantly engraved into the soul. 6th rank talisman master, accomplished. Ghost stories. The integration of this green talent is very peaceful, just like a drop of water into a river, without any ripples. Bang! At the last moment, the light golden Daoguo suddenly exploded. A blood knife, emitting an evil aura and with countless tadpole spells on the blade suddenly appeared in his hand, and an inexplicable evil spirit instantly rushed into his brain. Kill, 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 kill. Kill. A pure and evil thought instantly permeates your mind, almost bewitching you and transforming you into a puppet that can only kill. A bloody light spread from the blade, almost covering Liu Gan's eyes. At this moment, Liu Gan seemed to understand why Yi Chen became crazy and schizophrenic. Bang! Supreme Emperor Bone suddenly made a crisp sound, as if a sleeping boss suddenly opened his eyes. Let me see what's going on. Swish! The blood dissipated and the evil spirit was gone. The soul-devouring blood knife in his hand suddenly became quiet, and he looked instantly obedient. Damn, there is someone more vicious. Soul-devouring demonic sword, semi-immortal weapon. This evil blood sword forged with the blood of immortal gods has the ability to devour souls and steal life. After killing a target, it can devour the target's soul and plunder part of the target's lifespan, temporarily superimposing it on the body. By burning the lifespan, it enters the immortal sword soul state, greatly increasing its own recovery and combat power. This demon sword is inherently evil and will unconsciously seduce its host. If it devours too many enemy souls, its lifespan will be split, and it will be forced to become possessed and lose self-control until its lifespan is burned out and it self-destructs. Chapter 88, Heading North. Back to the imperial capital. Devouring souls, plundering part of lifespan, temporarily superimposing, burning lifespan, entering the immortal sword soul. Liu Gan's eyes suddenly lit up, and he stared at the introduction of the soul-devouring demonic sword in his hand, looking as if he had found a treasure. He doesn't need to care about the so-called immortal sword soul that can enhance recovery and combat effectiveness. What really moved him was the ability to plunder other people's lifespans and temporarily stack their effects. This ability is a perfect match with 9 steps to heaven. As long as you kill more, the lifespan you plunder can be accumulated. Although it is only short-lived, it can also turn the trump card of 9 steps to heaven into a regular move to offset the defect of insufficient lifespan. Using the lifespan of others as the main fuel and your own lifespan as a supplement, I activate that 9 steps to heaven in exchange for powerful strength. As for the heaven and earth loan, as long as someone can continuously supply me with spiritual energy, I can naturally ignore it. In this case, the side effects of 9 steps to heaven are almost minimized. The combination of this soul-devouring demonic sword and 9 steps to heaven is simply a perfect match. Liu Gan's heart was moved, and he could hardly suppress his joy and excitement. As for the side effects of the soul-devouring demonic sword, with the Supreme Emperor bone, it can be easily suppressed. At this moment, Liu Gan didn't dare to imagine how powerful he was at this moment when he was giving it his all. If there is anyone who dares to treat him as the best of the world, he will be able to teach him a lesson in a minute. Hey! Liu Gan's expression suddenly froze and he raised his eyes to look in front of him. However, the long river of time, before his eyes had not yet faded away, and the young shadow was still standing in front of him, looking at him calmly. At this moment, those calm faces seemed to come alive, staring at him speechlessly. The next moment, in Liu Gan's expectant gaze, the young shadow in front of him suddenly became agile, just like the old man simulated by the third villain. Bang! However, the young shadow suddenly moved, grabbed the last light golden Dao fruit on his chest and threw it out. That is 9 steps to heaven, heavenly talisman. Swish! The Dao fruit instantly merged into Liu Gan's brows and transformed into a complete 9 steps to heaven. At the same time, in the depths of the soul, a heavenly talisman was instantly condensed. As long as enough life energy was burned, one could directly enter the heavenly realm. Liu Gan didn't expect that after the third villain simulation, there would be another villain simulation that would give him an extra gift. However, this action just now seemed to have exhausted most of the young shadow's strength. It began to become illusory, and the voice became low. Head north. Back to the imperial capital. Good. Liu Gan's eyes moved, and he instantly understood the meaning. It is now certain that going south is a big pitfall, involving a higher level of confrontation. Yang Hong is obviously still lying in wait, unwilling to act rashly and forbearing. It would be useless for him to get involved rashly. Moreover, he already knew his true identity and the changes in the situation in the imperial capital. In this case, why not go north, return to the imperial capital, take the initiative to join the game, and fight for it? You've gone through so much trouble to force me out, so I'll go back and fight you guys. Although the Liu family is in trouble now, it has not been destroyed. We can save them and prevent something unbearable from happening. By the way, let's check what Yang Hong's note means. I want to see how many tricks my dead father left for me. Is it enough for me to fight those people? Seeing that you have made up your mind and understood what he meant, the young shadow also showed an excited smile on his face. Question mark. Let's make a scene. Crash. His figure disintegrated and turned into countless sands, blending into the long river of time, becoming illusory and disappearing. Host. Liu Gan. Question mark. Age. 18. Lives for 1,000 years. Profession. Talisman Master, Level 6. Realm. Peak of Mountains and Rivers. Kung Fu. Qingdi Chengsheng Sutra. 5th level. Land True Immortal level. Taiku Longxiang Sutra. 4th level. Heavenly level. Chenying Magic Skill. 5th level. Heavenly level. Talisman Manual. Talisman Illustrated Explanation. Divine Power and Taoist Magic. Qingdi Chengsheng Body. Longxiang Bazuju Body. Simulacrum. Shapeshifting. Kangmang Belong Fist. Supreme Mode. 9 Steps to Heaven. Question mark. Constitution. Supreme Emperor Bone. Talent. Grease the soles of your feet. Blue. You can't see me. Red. Talisman Seeds. Purple. Nonsense. Green. Items. Soul-devouring demonic sword, semi-immortal weapon, life-replacing blood escape talisman, Xuanian treasure mirror, heavenly magical weapon, heavenly legacy, ghost doctor venerable. Number of simulations, 0 times. Villain points, 58,500. After condensing the heavenly man talisman, as long as you take the 8th step, you can achieve heavenly man right away. Plus, I have many other cards that I have accumulated. Nowadays, there are not many people in the entire Great Xia Empire that I am afraid of. Liu Gan looked at Liu Ruyue beside him with cold eyes. He no longer had the fear he had before, but only endless peace. Compared to before, we still need to win over and carefully explore. Now, Liu Ruyue and the forces behind him are clearly visible to him. And his current strength is different from before. Then there is no need to be so kind to Liu Ruyue. Based on the previous simulations, the Liu family should be destroyed in a week. So it seems that I still have time. For now, let's finish some things first. Let's go to the mysterious secret realm first. The flow speed in the mysterious secret realm is different from that in the real world, so it's enough for me to arrange things calmly. Swish. His figure suddenly disappeared like a breeze, and appeared outside the Century Hotel. He burst out with terrifying speed, flying in the air, and rushed towards the sea area of Modu. Below, Liu Zhang and others who were in charge of guarding did not notice it. Only, Liu Ruyue, who was sleeping in the same bed with him, suddenly opened his eyes in surprise and disbelief. The peak of the mountain and river realm. What's going on? Clearly, a few hours ago, he was only at the divine ability realm. How could I cross a huge realm so quickly? Liu Ruyue's face was gloomy, and after thinking for a moment, he decisively decided to follow. The sea area of Demon City. A mysterious figure appeared 2 days before the secret realm opened, with an evil blood-red long sword in his hand. He slashed at the weakest part in an instant. Tear. A space crack appeared. Swish. Liu Gan put away his knife, looked behind him, and disappeared into the cave with a calm expression. Chapter 89. Golden Talent, Blessing from Heaven. Mysterious Secret Place. As soon as Liu Gan entered, he immediately sensed a terrifying spiritual energy that was 10 times stronger than the outside world rushing towards him. In an instant, he felt that the peak of mountains and rivers, cultivation in his body began to be touched, and there seemed to be a slight trend of breakthrough. The concentration of spiritual energy here is indeed unusual, and the speed of time is different. There are also immortal treasures such as 9 steps to heaven hidden here. I'm afraid it has an extraordinary origin. Liu Gan's eyes sparkled. During the 5th villain simulation, if his cultivation had not been destroyed, he would have almost broken through to the 6th level. But now is not the time to make a breakthrough. Let's get down to business first. After briefly identifying the location, Liu Gan turned into a shadow and rushed towards the land of ruins, recklessly. Along the way, even if there were strange alien races that appeared to block their way, they were all easily killed with a single sword. The soul and lifespan devoured by the soul-devouring demonic sword were briefly superimposed on the body, and entered the state of immortal sword soul. But the accumulated lifespan will soon dissipate at a rapid rate, and you need to continue hunting. Otherwise, you will start burning your own lifespan. In the state of immortal sword soul, Liu Gan felt that his own blood and mental strength had been strengthened to a terrifying degree, almost killing all gods and being invincible. Mountain and River Realm. Extraordinary Realm. Enter the Holy Realm. All the strange aliens that tried to stop him could not withstand the power of his sword. Such terrifying combat power also surprised Liu Ruyue, who was behind him. This B************ D actually hid so deeply. Just as she was secretly surprised, Liu Gan had already arrived at the ruins. He didn't even look at the follower behind him and strode in. Liu Ruyue also subconsciously wanted to follow in, but as soon as he took a step, he suddenly felt that the cultivation and spiritual energy in his body began to dissipate for no reason and return to the world. This sudden change frightened her so much that she quickly retreated. What the hell is this place? She looked in disbelief at the mysterious figure walking into the mist of ruins ahead, whose back gradually disappeared, and her mind went blank. What's going on? How did he know this place? How can one enter this place so easily? And the strange realm and power that suddenly surged from time to time. At this moment, the shock that man gave her was greater than all the previous ones combined. There seemed to be a layer of hazy fog around him, and one could never see the bottom. A place of ruins and mysterious stone statues. A parchment was suspended above the incomplete stone statue. Liu Gan held the soul-devouring demonic sword in his hand and walked forward step by step, releasing his perception to the maximum and exploring the surroundings. He seriously suspected that Yi Chen had arrived early during the last villain simulation, but he was hiding in the dark and did not dare to show up. But despite his exploration, he still found nothing. The remaining soul of the grandfather in Yi Chen's body seems to be not simple. The two opportunities of 9 steps to heaven and soul-devouring demonic sword were obtained by Yi Chen under his guidance. With such a mysterious existence around him, even if Yi Chen is a waste and has a problem with his brain, it will be difficult for him to die. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. It's not impossible to deceive my perception. However, I have the upper hand right now. Even if he hides in the dark, he won't dare to take action. Liu Gan's slightly frowned brows relaxed slightly and he looked in front of him. Swish! The parchment scroll carrying the 9 steps into heaven, and the incomplete stone statue floating in the air was taken down by a white hand. Yi Chen's first opportunity to make a fortune was thus obtained. Ding! The host has seized the opportunity, 9 steps to heaven, that belongs to the destined protagonist Yi Chen in advance, causing certain changes to the future timeline, and obtained the reward, Talent Enhancement Scroll, purple. Talent Upgrade Scroll, purple. Randomly upgrade any talent of the host to purple talent, and perform advanced transformation. Talent Enhancement Scroll. Liu Gan's eyes lit up, he put the parchment scroll in his hand into the space ring, and began to inquire about the reward Talent Enhancement Scroll. It was a scroll emitting purple light, with densely packed mysterious runes. So far, he only has one purple talent, Talisman Seed. The help it brought to him was obviously not small. Now, there is actually a new purple talent. Although it is random and not specified, it doesn't matter. Tier. General Liu tore the Talent Enhancement Scroll, purple, and was immediately covered by a purple light. Ding! Random selection is starting. Selection is complete. The target talent is upgraded to Nonsense Green. Ghost Talk Green. Ghost Talk Purple. Nonsense Purple. Not only will people subconsciously believe the nonsense you tell, but even ghosts will believe it to some extent. Even ghosts believe what they say. It seems that the ability to deceive people has been strengthened a lot. Liu Gan raised his eyebrows and wanted to find someone to experiment with, but there was no one around. Well, since that's the case, I can only give up this idea temporarily. There are still 7 days until the Liu family is destroyed, but the speed of the mysterious realm is 10 to 1, which means that I still have dozens of days to break through the extraordinary realm first. Before we officially go to the imperial capital, let's simulate it and make a scene. It just so happens that the remaining villain points are enough for another simulation. He is at the peak of the mountain and river realm, and he needs 50,000 villain points to simulate again. Today, he can still afford it. If one were to break through to the 6th level of transcendence ahead of time, that would not be enough. Villain Simulator, start the 6th simulation. Ding! 50,000 villain points have been proactively deducted from the host in exchange for 1 villain life simulation. Ding! The 6th villain life simulation begins. It is detected that the host has sufficient villain points. Do you want to spend 5,000 villain points to perform a temporary talent 10 draw? Yes. Although there are not many villain points at the moment, you still can't save on things like talent. Worth the all-in. Ding! Start the 10 consecutive draw. The drawing is over. Please choose one of the following 10 temporary talents. Born rich, red, money rolling in, rich and powerful. Formation talent green, your understanding of formations has reached genius level. As solid as a mountain green, your body is as solid as a mountain, and has a miraculous effect on physical training. Sword prodigy red, your understanding of swords has reached an unimaginable level of power. You are a natural genius, far superior to ordinary people. Indestructible kidney blue, you have an indestructible kidney, but I don't know what it is for. Slave trainer red, the target you whip has a chance to surrender and become your slave, and has a certain chance of rebellion. Big brother, we are one of us green, when you say, Big brother, we are one of us, the people around you will subconsciously treat you as one of their own. The fewer the number of people, the greater the chance of success. Romance luck red, you have a natural attraction to the opposite S*X and are a natural scumbag. Perhaps you need an indestructible kidney. ? Heavenly Official's Blessing, Gold. Chapter 90. Liu Ruyue, tell the people behind you that I still need a few dogs to send. Blessing from heaven, gold. You have been blessed by the mysterious god. Good fortune will come to you, and you will be able to ward off evil spirits and avoid disasters. You will not be cursed and will enjoy good luck. Blessing from the heavenly official. Golden talent. Liu Gan's pupils trembled, and he instantly ignored all the talents before him, staring intently at the last special talent shrouded in golden light. This time, out of the 10 consecutive draws, I actually got a golden legend. Could it be that he is the legendary European emperor? I choose Heavenly Official's Blessing. Before Heaven Official's Blessing appears, he might consider other things. After all, there are several red talents this time. But when the golden talent Heavenly Official's Blessing appeared, Liu Gan did not hesitate. This golden talent, which is related to the mysterious luck and fortune, is extraordinary at first glance. It's just like the destiny of the protagonist. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the temporary golden talent, Heavenly Official's Blessing. Starting the 6th simulation, Liu Gan put away his soul-devouring demonic sword and sat cross-legged in front of the broken stone statue, as if he was in a trance, completely defenseless. The special nature of the Land of Ruins means that no one dares to set foot there easily. It can be said that it is a safe place. Of course, he did not forget the existence of a certain destined protagonist. If the other party dared to suddenly appear and attack him while he was meditating, he wouldn't mind giving the other party a surprise. This time, I got a golden talent right at the start. I want to see what kind of dragon and tiger den the imperial capital is. Why is this damn B*********** D here and took away my opportunity in advance? In the fog, Yi Chen with a broken arm was lurking behind a ruined wall, shrouded in a dark soul fire. All his aura disappeared, as if he did not exist. He gritted his teeth as he looked at Liu Gan in front of him, who was resting with his eyes closed, as if in a trance, and wished he could pull out his tendons and skin him alive. Just as Liu Gan guessed, the destined protagonist Yi Chen at this moment did enter the mysterious realm ahead of time, but due to his strength, he could only explore it bit by bit. Seeing Liu Gan suddenly rushing in and charging all the way, he hurriedly followed behind him, but in the end he was still a step too slow. The opportunity was taken away. Master, didn't you say that no one else knew about this opportunity? Yi Chen's voice was filled with resentment as he communicated with the residual soul of an old man in his body, but he received no response. It seemed that the mysterious remnant soul in his body was also wondering why. Suddenly, Yi Chen's eyes lit up, as if he thought of something. Master, that B*********** D seems to think this place is safe. He is practicing in meditation and is completely defenseless. If I launch a sneak attack at this moment, I will definitely have the advantage and can win a great victory, severely injure him, and humiliate him. Just when Yi Chen was caught in a fantasy moment of, the advantage is mine, he suddenly heard a slightly speechless old voice appearing in his mind. You will die. Swish. Yi Chen's face looked ugly, as if he had been poured with cold water. I just don't believe it. Outside the ruins, Liu Ruyue seemed to have made up his mind and simply stayed outside and refused to leave. Well, the journey to obtain the scriptures is long and arduous. Simulation starts. As the most dissolute playboy in the imperial capital, you have learned your true identity and started your own plan, preparing to go north, return to the imperial capital, and make a big fuss. For this, you came to the mysterious secret realm in advance, got the 9 steps to heaven, and also received some kind of blessing from somewhere. Due to the different flow of time in the mysterious realm, you began to practice the Qingdi Changsheng Sutra. You start taking the elixir to activate the Supreme Emperor Bone, and speed up your cultivation. 10 days later, you broke through the 6th level of the Qingdi Changsheng Sutra, and your cultivation reached the 6th level of transcendence. Your body and soul begin to transform and enter the extraordinary realm. Your own, Green Emperor longevity, is enhanced 20 times, and your lifespan increases by 500 years. 20 days later, your cultivation has advanced further, reaching the 4th level of transcendence. You have gained a new ability from the Green Emperor's Longevity Sutra, which allows you to forcibly plunder the spiritual energy in other people's bodies to nourish yourself. You discovered that this ability seems to be able to make up for the side effects of 9 Steps to Heaven, and you are pleasantly surprised. Question mark. After 30 days, your cultivation level has broken through to the 6th level of transcendence. Question mark. 40 days later, you successfully broke through to the 8th level of transcendence, without any hindrance to your cultivation. During this period, no one will disturb you. At this moment, 4 days have passed in the outside world, and the ghost Dr. Venerable arrived in the Magic City today. It's almost time to start planning. You stopped practicing. Although you still want to continue, planning is more important. If it was a few days later, the Liu family would be in a similar situation and destroyed, which would be bad for your plan. On the one hand, you still have a lot of feelings for the Liu family. On the other hand, the demise of the Liu family will not only make you lose a certain amount of support, but will also make the rest of the people left behind by your dead father feel hesitant and fearful. After considering various factors, the Liu family's flagpole cannot fall. Unfortunately, Yi Chen is so cunning and didn't show up again. You felt a little sorry, so you stood up and walked out of the ruins, just in time to see Liu Ruyue, who was waiting outside. You already had a rough idea of Liu Ruyue's background during the last simulation. He belongs to a hidden force called Yanyu Sword Pavilion. The members of this hidden force are all women, with extraordinary backgrounds and different identities. There are female independent cultivators, mistresses of aristocratic families, and business tycoons. They are all ambitious and like to take shortcuts to gain huge profits. The so-called Demon City Liu family is actually just a controlled force under its control. As Yang Hong said, these are just a group of speculators who like to take shortcuts and gain maximum benefits with minimal investment. However, these speculators have considerable power as a whole, and they also have a considerable network of relationships. I heard that some of the members are involved with some nobles in the Daxia Palace. These people want to subdue him, make them bet on him, and use him for their own purposes, so naturally they can't be nice and polite. Liu Ruyue blocked the way and wanted to speak, but was interrupted. Tell the people behind you that I plan to go back to the capital to make some noise, kill some people, and fight for that position. I'm still short of a few dogs to send out. If you want to speculate, you'd better do it early. It's too late. By the time I gather the old subordinates left by my father, you won't even have a dog to serve. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audio Wave to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.